Brother, this dude plays all day long, uses with rarity, with optimizes everything, and he has only seen 48 divines. This number should be in the hundreds, by the way. So yes, guys, I have this video here from Fobgon that is called Path of Exile 2 Endgame Made Me Quit 0.2 feedback video. And of course, I wanna watch this video because you guys know that Fobgon is known in the community as the hardcore blaster guy that always plays the game, and he goes and he goes and he goes and he farms 1000 mirrors and he has the best farming strategies. He loves the game, he never gets bored. It is insane, dude. These days this guy plays 24/7. So when he says that the Path of Exile 2 Endgame made him quit, hey, that raises some red flags, right? So I want to see why he quit. Let's see what he has to say in here, guys.
Hey guys, I want to make a video going over my full feedback for 0.2 mapping, why I really dislike this patch, why I'm not having fun, and why I'm most likely just quitting this patch for now. Very unfortunate, but
he dislikes it, he's not having fun, and he's quitting. By the way, if this guy that is the major Uber destroyer of the game only has 70 divines, you know that this shit is fucked up with loot, you know?
yeah, I'm just not having fun, and I feel like a lot of the people probably feel the same. 0.2 mapping is what I care for, it's what I do the most. I only really map in this game, I don't really care for anything else, and it's just not fun in PoE 2.
Dude, over 60% of you are not subscribed. Why are you like this, dude? Just click the sub button. It is quick, it is easy, it is free. You get content. I get a sub win-win situation. Just click the sub button, my dude.
Friends, I'm the type of person who plays any type of patch for like 2 months straight. I play like every PoE 1 patch for 2 months straight. I just non-stop grind, non-stop farm. But in 0.2, I'm just not having fun, which is kind of a first in PoE, which is very unfortunate. But yeah, the last time I felt like this was like Lake of Kalandra, and Lake of Kalandra lasted for like 3 days. This patch lasted like 10 days, but yeah, it's just not fun. I made this whole text document.
I did not play Lake of Kalandra because I did not play PoE 1 at that point. But when people say that something that sucked in PoE 1, everybody say Lake of Kalandra. So at this point, I already know that Lake of Kalandra was that league from PoE 1 that sucked dick.
Here, over 4,000 characters, going over what I really dislike about the current endgame and the current mapping, and what are solutions that we can do to actually improve it. Usually I just list problems, but I also don't want to lose solutions here, because I honestly feel like currently GG doesn't understand like why some of these things are just not fun, and I really do hope they are improved. I want to play PoE 2 all day, I really do, but man, it just feels like an absolute chore to do current endgame mapping, and I really hope it's fixed for 0.3. So what is my first main issue? So I have many issues and minor issues. My first main issue is towers. Towers still feel like a giant chore. You spend half your time, or maybe less than half your time, looking for a 3-tower layout. It's more or less the same issue in 0.1. In 0.1, you look for like a 5 or 6 tower overlap. Now you look for a 3-tower overlap, which is just as rare because they made towers more rare. So yeah, looking for a 3-tower overlap, first looking for a 6-tower overlap in 0.1. It's exactly the same chore. It's still not fun despite reducing the amount of towers in the game. But 2 to 3 towers is at minimum 50% more juice. But it's more.
But this is for maximum using, right? And by the way, I think this design clashes with the new design they did for the corrupted nexus that you have to get to be able to get the Atlas points. Towers incentivize you to clear the maps that are in the range of the tower, right? You put the tablets in the tower, you use the maps that are around the tower. You are incentivized to clear those maps. But the corrupted nexus, if it is not in that area and you have to look for it to get the Atlas points, you have to be on the move. So you don't have time to clear all the maps in the tower area if you have to be on the move to look for the corrupted nexus. This also applies to citadels, by the way. If you want to find citadels, you have to be on the move. But towers don't want you to be on the move. They want you to be in range of the tower. Yeah, I have defended a little bit towers because previously I didn't find them that annoying. But you have to understand this, Gigi. You are incentivizing two things that clash with each other. In one side, you want me to stay in one area, but on the other side, you want me to travel the map. What the fuck am I supposed to do? What I do personally is travel the map. I don't use towers, I don't use areas, I don't give a fuck. I travel the map looking for citadels and corrupted nexuses. But towers incentivize you to stay in one place. So I don't know what they are trying to do with that, honestly. I don't know what they are trying to do with that. Yo, 60, my dude. Oh, never mind. 319. Okay, it is a 319. It is also good to know when people say 319 was bad. Okay, 319 was Lake of Calandra. It's the only thing worth it, bro. Tablets and use maps. Equal currency. That's it in my experience. Okay, okay.
Like 80 to 100% more returns because juice in this game is multiplicative, like Quan is multiplicative rarity, which is multiplicative with increased rare monsters on your map, which is multiplicative also with your player rarity. So yeah, it's more like 100% more returns on 3 towers. It is so much more juice in 2 towers that it feels once again like mandatory to do, just like how the 5 or 6 tower setup in 0.1 also felt pretty mandatory if you really want to.
I never done this, by the way, not in the first season, not in the second season. I never tried to overlap towers and do the perfect using or whatever. And I've been able to complete the content, right? So I don't know if this is necessary. But the truth is that there are players like Foghorn that like to do it. They like to be efficient. They like to optimize shit. That should be fun too. That should be fun too. That is what I'm trying to say. Maybe not mandatory, but it should be fun to do. Had to catch your stream since it is always like 5 a.m. here. I am going to bed, just dropping a like. Yo, 60, my dude, thank you very much. Did you see Lasipo got 150k on Steam charts? Yes, I did. I was still surprised that at the point that Lasipo had 150k, PoE2 still had almost 80k. At the same time, in the day the league dropped for PoE for Lasipo, I think that is really good for in one of the most unpopular seasons. I think that is really good for PoE. I think that is really good for PoE, in fact. And I am also happy for Lasipo, by the way. That game deserves attention, dude. The developers are putting a lot of love into the game. Even if I like PoE2 more, I still like Lasipo, and I can see the love the developers are putting in there. So I am happy for them, dude. I am really happy for them.
Good loot, because if you're just doing like 1 or 2 towers, your loot feels really, really trash. So what is the solution here? I have 2 solutions here. You either make towers spawn in pairs, so 3 tower setups just can't be a thing, and 2 tower setups become really, really plentiful. You just design it to where towers just cannot overlap more than 2. This would make it so like anywhere in the atlas is viable to go, because there's 2 tower setups everywhere in the atlas, right? It's not that hard whatsoever. It's just when you're searching for 3 tower setups, it becomes really, really tedious because it feels so much better than 2 tower setups, and the juice returns are just way more massive. But yeah, 2 tower setups are everywhere in the atlas, and it wouldn't be an issue if it were just limited to 2. And also another issue with searching for 3 towers, you also end up in situations like this, where you can't see stuff in the fog of war. So even if you see a 3 tower setup in the fog of war, you go to it, and it might end up like this, where yeah, it's just water in the middle, and your tower setup is completely dead. This feels like shit. I don't know how they could change this. Obviously, they changed to 2 towers only, you won't have this. But yeah, when you get a 3 tower setup and in the middle is just water, it feels so bad, because it feels like you just wasted so much of your time. So anyway, that is my big major issue with towers. Another solution, and one I like more, is just don't lock juice in behind towers. Is there an actual or good reason why juice is locked behind towers? Because I can't think of one. There's already good reasons to explore the atlas, right? You have citadels, you have corruptions, you have unique maps, and things.
He's saying what I said. He's saying what I said. You have to explore the atlas. Why are you locking me to this place? No, fuck that.
Also add more stuff to explore. So you're going to explore the atlas regardless if juice was behind towers or not. I don't think there's a reason juice has to be locked behind towers. And even if towers didn't have juice, you would still do them because they reveal a large portion of your atlas and also reveal like citadels in the distance. They are still extremely useful even if juice weren't tied to them. So personally, yeah, I would like the tablets to not be tied to towers. Maybe instead the tablets are more so tied to like your map or like your map device. So it'll be like a tablet window right here. You put 3 tablets in, and then for the next 15 maps, you get those 3 tablet effects. You can also make them more powerful in exchange because it'll only be 3, or you can make it like 6 tablets or whatever, right? Either way, I don't think tablets need to be locked behind towers for juice. It currently just feels terrible. Towers had to be fixed for 0.3. The current endgame mapping experience is just not fun. Another big problem of mine is TDM in the endgame is way too high, especially when compared to PoE 1. You have map rolling, for example, only rarity maps are useful. So you go to a map tab, you know, you look for only rarity maps, you put in your regex, you know, like rarity of items found, right? and then you only take out rarity maps because every other map is pointless. You don't care for a map that has like increased amount of rare chests. This is an entirely pointless mod and does absolutely nothing, and it's way worse than rarity. And a lot of players don't even know how impactful rarity on the map is. It's multiplicative with your player rarity. It's a massive difference of both currency and rare loot drops, which is a big portion of your currency gains. If you're not running rarity in maps, you're just making way less currency. It is so mandatory to run these maps currently in the game. So you have map rolling, you have tablets, 3-to-1 tablets with a reforged bench, and you have to roll them like transmutation, aug them all, and then only certain mods with those tablets are worth running, just like maps, and they have to have quant on the tablet pretty much. And then distilled emotions and corrupting. So there's so much to do just to run one map in PoE. It's so tedious and time consuming.
This is true. You have to craft a lot on top of each individual map, and after you craft, you have to see. Well, you first have to craft a little bit. See if you like the mods. If you don't like them, discard the map and try again. If you like them, then continue the crafting with the distill or the shed. It is a pain in the fucking ass. This is completely true, and I agree 100%. And this is indifferent of the strategy you use. But I have, like I said, no, I always travel in the map. Well, while traveling, you also do this. So this is not, if you use the towers or you travel, it doesn't matter. You do this for every fucking map. It is annoying.
I don't really see why a lot of this can be reduced. I'll talk about that later. First things first is like, why can't the distills be applied to the maps directly like how it is in PoE 1? So just.
But by the way, it is annoying and I want to see this improved. But I don't know if this is one of the reasons I would quit the game over. Like, there are a lot of things that I want the game to improve, and this is one thing that you can improve. But I don't know if it is even on my top 10 things that should be improved. I'm talking specifically about the tediousness of crafting on the map.
Show, I'm on Path of Exile 1 right now. If you don't know how instills work in this game, all you do is click it, hold down shift, and there, that's it. It's done. It's so much faster and so much less tedious. I don't know why they made it strictly worse in PoE 2. It makes absolutely no sense. Just make it work exactly like PoE 1.
Because it's sharing the same interface that instilling your fucking amulet. There should be a conditional that for the amulet you open the instilling shed, and for the map you don't. Easy as that, right?
What was wrong with this method? So yeah, in PoE 2, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is what it looks like, where you have to right click to distill paranoia, put in your map, put in all 3 paranoias, then click instill, and then click the map out. It's so much less work, and it's all these minor things adding up that makes the map experience unfun, especially in the higher end, and even on the lower end as well, right? I don't think searching for towers for anyone is fun at all. Next solution is rework map mods. Maybe make it more generic like Path of Exile 1. Every map mod adds quant, rarity, and pack size. In PoE 2, it's only the prefix that matter, and the suffix essentially don't matter. This give you waystone drop chance, which you don't.
In fact, at some point, if you have a map roll with 3 prefixes, you don't want to craft on it anymore with exalteds, because all it is going to give you is bad shit. The good shit is in the prefixes. So keep crafting to get more suffixes sucks dick, because it is only negatives. There is no positives in that.
Don't really care for when you start high-end juicing, you have infinite sustain anyway. If every map mod did matter though, you would just go for 6 mods every map. You wouldn't care what prefix or suffix they have, because they all have quant and rarity and pack size. You want to make it way less tedious. You just pick out any map, as long as you can like run the modifiers like, oh no, pen or something, exalt, and good to go. You won't have to look for only rarity maps. This change would also vastly improve loot for the average player, because I'm sure the average player doesn't even know about running only rarity waystones. Once again, if you.
And I have to tell it again, guys. I have a video talking about this shit. I always complain about this, so I won't make it long. But are you seeing all the hoops that we are having to jump through to get rarity? Get rarity in your items, in your gear. Get rarity in the waystone. Get rarity in the tablets. Like, you have to get rarity all over the place. Just fucking delete rarity out of the game, my dude. I hate it. It is boring. It is not cool. Just delete the shit and improve the base loot drops. Improve it by 500% and delete rarity. No one likes rarity. This shit is stupid. It's awful. It's boring. I am just tired, boss. I hate rarity, dude.
You aren't running only rarity waystones, you definitely should be. It's a lot better loot. Like I said, allowed to still be plenty of maps like doing those in PoE 1. I just showed that. Not sure what exactly to do with tablets, but currently they feel way more tedious and scarce than PoE 1. So yeah, I think that should just be changed. My next major issue is all the.
By the way, I am convinced they will bring to PoE 2 something akin to scarabs, because when you put the waystone in the thing to go to the map, there are 4 slots and you can only put 1 map. Why do you have the other 3 slots? Something is coming that you are going to put into those slots, right, in the future. Bro, I'm 100% sure they'll bring all that stuff to PoE 2. Like, the game is still being developed. Maybe they'll even do it better than PoE 1. Don't think that's gonna be an issue. I agree with you completely, dude. I agree with you completely, dude. That the game is going to improve with time, and there are a lot of things that are in PoE 1 that are cool that they are going to bring back for PoE 2, but they have not done it yet, right?
Mechanics feel absolutely useless, and the Atlas also feels pointless. These kind of go hand to hand. Solution: massively buff every lead mechanic. You know, what's the point of these huge maps if we're skipping every single lead mechanic inside it? Like, why are they huge in the first place then, right? We should want to do every single lead mechanic that pops up. It should feel exciting and it should be rewarded. Currently, you just skip pretty much every lead mechanic unless you're fully invested into it. In my opinion, the Atlas tree needs an entire rework. We need way more investment into the lead mechanics. You should be able to fully spec into any type of lead mechanic and get massive returns out of it.
I agree with this, by the way, and in my opinion, this shouldn't be disconnected. I think these trees should be connected to the main tree. Maybe you keep like the final points, the final 2 points or 3 points by investing into the mechanic. But the very first point should be earnable by just clicking on it. Or the very first 2 points, you know. Because the system right now works backward. I agree with this point with Fob 2 that this needs a rework. This feels inconsequential a little bit. Like, you are not really doing much in here, which is a pain in the fucking ass, dude. Yo, Ray, bro, my dude, how you doing, brother? We are here, we're having fun, we are doing the shit, dude.
This Atlas tree is just so boring and you can barely invest into anything. Rogue Exiles have a maximum 9 points, and you don't even take all these points even if you do Rogue Exiles. So yeah, there should be like 3 times more choices and Rogue Exile nodes here, and this is true for everything, like Whiffs, Essence, Strongbox, Shrines, right? We need way more options and way more points in Atlas tree. The PoE1 Atlas tree is like 130 points with like 10 times more nodes. It's way more interesting and way better than this, because yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Everything feels worthless, and every Atlas tree is going to end up looking like this, where you're just taking map effect and like rarity and quant nodes, because these other Atlas nodes are just worthless. They don't even feel worth taking. But lead mechanics right now, like Rogue Exiles, just feel absolutely awful. For example, even if you fully spec into Exiles and Atlas tree, you still only have a 20% chance of seeing 1 Exile every single map. So 1 in 5 maps. That is just completely trash, and it's like not fun. Like, you want to fully invest into Exiles, maybe make them more tanky but more rewards, and you see them every single map and you interact with them every single map.
I agree with this. I went full Rogue Exiles this season, and I don't see a Rogue Exile every map. In fact, it is more the times that I don't see them than the time that I see them. And I went the whole 150% increase chance of getting a Rogue Exile. And when you do get it, they don't give you anything cool. And I am in tier 15 maps. Like, they should give something cool. It's the highest difficulty. Well, not technically because you have the tier 16, but you know what I'm meaning. So he's completely right on this shit, guys. He's completely right. And something that he's not saying, but that I am saying, is that this shouldn't be disconnected. It should be connected.
That would be a lot more enjoyable gameplay experience, in my opinion at least. To go over quickly what every lead mechanic should at least get at a base improvement. Strongbox needs way more loot, drops practically nothing. I don't know, Strongbox are still useless. I don't know why they aren't buffed. Again, they still feel just as useless as 0.1. The monster just...
The problem is that if you see the common denominator in here, is that nothing is rewarding. That is the common denominator. Nothing drops anything good. What is an easy way? I have to tell you guys, you know how they implemented the rares, showing you the rares in every corner of the map right away when you start the map. I was telling them to do this for months, and they did it. Why did I recommend this solution? Because people were complaining about map layouts that they sucked, and about backtracking and having to walk a lot without doing anything. The solutions people were giving were changing layouts that requires work, that they have to change how the maps are generated, the coding, maybe even the art or whatever. And what was the other shit I was going to say? Oh, or changing the map objectives. That also requires work. First of all, thinking about what other objectives can we put into the map, and working and solving the shit. What was the easiest solution without needing to change anything and keeping everything as is? Show me the rares. That is why I suggested that. Not because it is the best solution, nor it is because the best possible outcome for the game, but because it was the easiest, quickest implementation that they could do right now to improve these complaints. Now I am going to give you that shit right here, right now. He's explaining that the problems with the Strongbox, with Ritual, with Breach, with Delirium, and he's right. All of this has the problems, right? The Atlas 3 or whatever. They can rework each thing, and I hope they do it because it sucks. But a quick fix, a quick band-aid that you can implement right now without having to rework anything is increase the base loop drops. The base rate for loot, for drops, or whatever. Increase it. Everything will feel better without having to rework all the shit. If you see here, what is the common denominator across all the complaints? Things are not rewarding enough. You have to work a fuck ton to earn something, and you end up not earning shit. What is the common denominator? How do you fix it? Make me earn shit. Make it feel rewarding. Exactly, nothing is rewarding. I love PoE 2, but I need it to love me back a little. Yeah. We need for PoE 2 to love us too. Playing some last epoch today was fun and rewarding, but it's still missing that secret sauce that he has. I agree with you, Ray. I agree with you. Like, last epoch is awesome. Fucking awesome. I love it. Cool game. But it is not Path of Exile, dude. It is not Path of Exile. Yeah, but moderately and more meaningful. Definitely not like before. That sucks dick, no piñata. I agree with you, Demios. I agree completely with you. Remember, I had to spend $1,000 to get the gills I wanted when I played PoE Classic. The farming and drop rate always been an issue. These devs will never get it, I swear. Brother, I am praying that they get it for PoE 2. I know that we can get Doomer because we see them pushing back on us. But hey, let's keep trying to push back on them and see if we can get the improvements that we want, right?
Spawn faster. At the very least, unique strongboxes do feel good, so that is nice. That was a nice addition in 0.2. Virtual, we need the item filter applied to the virtual window. If you don't know what this is, in Path of Exile 1, you can apply your loot filter to the item window, which makes all the bad items automatically just gray out, so you don't have to bother with them, you don't have to hover them, and it makes the good items highlight so you can quickly see if they're worth taking. And the ritual itself should drop some amount of loot. I don't know why the ritual feels like it drops absolutely zero loot. It should drop some amount of loot like in PoE 1. For Breach, please take away the one-drop splinters. This is something Jonathan even promised.
This is a stupid that you have to go clicking every fucking splinters. Some people suggest that all the splinters should drop at the same time and you just click once. I will go one step further. Don't make me click on the fucking splinters, even if they are all dropped in the same place. Just pick them up automatically like gold, dude. And do the same with the expedition materials. I played PoE 1 in the Frisia League, and the expedition materials were picked up instantly, and they didn't go to your inventory. They went to your currency shed. Make that in PoE 2, please, with expedition, but also with the Breach splinters and the simulacrum splinters and all that bullshit, dude. Just pick them up automatically like fucking gold, dude. This is annoying. Not even if they drop as a full stack, that is also stupid. Just pick it up automatically, brother. Click that like button, folks. Yes. Hey, David, thank you. Listen to David and click the sub, the like, all the shit, dude.
That the majority of splinters were not dropping one stacks, and now we're 2 patches in, and once again, the majority of splinters are still 1 stack drops. It does not feel fun picking up 100 individual splinters every single map. Why is this not changed? I'm not sure why. Also, increased amount of rare monsters, they vastly reduced the power of Breach, and it feels really terrible now. True. It should get another buff, in my opinion. It was nerfed way too hard.
They should buff the Breach, but not as it was in Season 1, because in Season 1 was overpowered. Like, Breach was the only rewarding thing. They should buff Breach a little bit, not at the same level as Season 1, but also buff the other mechanics so that you don't feel like Breach is the only one that is rewarding.
Give it like 2 or 3 more additional rares at least. Delirium to get the PoE 1 scale in, so higher deli equals higher monster quant, which means more loot. For example, in Path of Exile 1, 100% Delirium is 50% more Sequant, which is 50% more loot, but it's also like 90% damage reduction. In PoE 2, 150% Deli does not feel more rewarding than like 45% Deli, so it's really weird. They should make it way more rewarding, but also way more challenging. Exiles just talked about it, but they're completely worthless right now. They die in one hit, they have like no HP. I would say just buff their loot by 20 times, like actually 20 times buff, and make them like 10 times more challenging, so to actually like a real fight, like a mini map boss, but they drop a lot of loot in return. Wisps barely feel like they add any loot to the game right now, and you also have to wait for them to power them up.
They already said they are going to improve the Wisp drop rate like next week or the other week in an upcoming patch that we don't know when it is going to drop, but they said yes, Wisps are fucked up and we are going to increase the loot. We don't know how rewarding they will be after the upgrade or after the patch, but at least they address it, specifically the Wisps.
But it's just terrible gameplay. I really feel like Wisps just need an entire rework. I don't see a world where you have to wait and not attack the monsters for the Wisps to go through them, and for that gameplay to actually feel rewarding and fun. I don't know. Having to wait to kill monsters in an RPG is just not fun, and it never will be fun. My last major issue is loot. Loot is not exciting. Only things are divines and keys, which are both very rare in 0.2. And once again, most uniques still feel bad. There's a few drop uniques that do sell for a little bit, but yeah, most of them still feel terrible, especially one compared to PoE 1.
Almost every unique, like 99 out of 100 uniques that I find, I disenchanted for the chance shard and then selling the orb of chance for exalted. That is a value a unique drop has.
Solution is we just need more extended drops in the game. Stuff like dip cards are coming, which would help of course, but the current rare loot is just way too rare. For example, an average player should find more than one divine every 8 hours. If you want to see my pilfer ring personally, I have 48 raw divine drops, 2,000 exalts.
Brother, this suit plays all day long, uses with rarity, with optimizes everything, and he has only seen 48 divines. That is fucked up, dude. That is fucked up. This number should be in the hundreds, by the way.
And 4 perfect jewelers. I think the average player is probably somewhere around like 1 to 4 divines, and maybe like 40 or 50 hours.
I have not seen one single divine this season. Not one. I seen 2 perfect jeweler's orbs, but not one divine.
Played. It takes way too long to find a single divine. I at most at maximum juice my fast character, 90% move speed. I find like 1 divine an hour at max. And like, things are just fun to hear, right? Like dropping this and hearing this noise is what makes PoE endgame fun. Hearing this over and over and over again is what's actually fun about farming this game. So when you only hear this like once every 8 hours, it just feels bad because the other 7 hours just aren't fun to play. Gear to gear also feels too rare if you have no rarity. I think the amount of rare drops is fine, so keep the amount of rare drops in total the same, but increase the chance of seeing tiered rares. I think tiered rares are a great system, and it's a system I want in PoE 1 actually, but currently if you're not running rarity with like a full juice atlas, they are just too rare for the—
Brother, everything goes back to rarity and the base loot drops. Fix it, just delete rarity and increase the base loot drop. Rarity is boring, it's stupid, it's confusing, nobody wants to do it. It incentivizes the generate gameplay. Just delete rarity, brother, and just upgrade the base drop rate for a fuck ton, dude. I'm almost level 90 and I have dropped 0 divines. Yes, do the same. I am 88 or 89, some shit like that, and I also have not seen one fucking divine, dude.
The average player, they should be a bit more common. Now the last issues I want to rapidly go over is minor issues. These are minor issues. The last 4 were my big 4 major issues that I really want to fix at 0.3. These issues aren't as big, and if they aren't fixed at 0.3, not a big deal, but I'll go over them real quick. First problem, having to buy juice from trade. So this was fixed in Path of Exile 1. I'm not sure why they introduced it in PoE 2 with unique tablets. I think unique tablets are a really cool idea, but having to buy these constantly from trade is just so unfun. Once again, we fixed this in PoE 1 where you just buy scarabs and you buy all your map juice from the currency exchange, in this case Alva, but you can't buy this from Alva. So you have to go on trade and keep constantly buying these unique tablets, which is not a fun and enjoyable experience. Solution is just change the unique tablet into another former item that can be tradable on the currency exchange, or make them into a special tablet with no row rangers, and you can just buy them on the currency exchange with no issue.
I agree with this take. Awesome take.
The problem is the Reforge bench. Reforge over your soul emotions before defending this. I think the Reforge bench is just absolutely really trash. It takes way too long. The animation, I don't know why it's there. solution. You can keep the reforged bench. Like, sure, it's very intuitive for new players, but add the same vendor function that we have in PoE 1. In PoE 1, you can just use the vendor to do the same thing that reforged bench does. So for example, for Dissolved Emotions, for example, you can just go to a vendor, you could put all 3 in here, and it'll give you the 1 tier higher. But in PoE 2, you have to use the reforged bench and do this 1 at a time, which is just, I don't know what they're thinking, but this is just not it. Another issue is movement speed. It's way too scarce. We need more ways to obtain it. And stuff like unique boots feel absolutely worthless if they have like 10 to 20% MS.
This is also true.
You get 30.
This is also true. Movement speed is a stat that is a premium stat that basically it blocks you out of using unique boots if they don't give the necessary movement speed. If these unique boots don't have 30% movement speed at least, then they are worthless, right? So we have also talked about movement speed. Make the movement speed implicit on boots. Remove the penalty from the chest. Give a boost to the base movement speed. I don't want zoom either, but hey, it is true that we are too slow and we need to get movement speed 100% mandatory to dodge a lot of bullshit that you throw at me in this game. Like, even to do the arbiter mechanics, you need movement speed, because if you are slow, you don't have time to go from place to place to dodge the one-shot mechanics in the arbiter fight, the pinnacle boss. So I need the movement speed, but then it is too rare to actually get it. You have to improve this shit, dude. You have to improve this shit.
Perhaps an MS on your boots and you don't have 35%, the game feels bad to play. I think a good solution is add more movement speed options to the game, not necessarily increase the speed of the game all that much, just add more options to the game so people can invest into it.
I agree with this.
The game feels really good at like 60 to 80% MS, but only a handful of classes can actually reach that. So Monk, Huntress, and Ranger are pretty much the only classes that can reach that. Maybe Witch Hunter as well, although it's a little bit harder for them. But yeah, playing any other class that can't reach these move speed nodes in the tree, like on the Ranger area or in the Monk area, just feels absolutely trash. It does not feel fun playing like a witch and moving at 20% move speed in the end game.
Imagine playing a warrior.
If you're playing a more so melee mercenary, you have to like go over here, you grab no movement speed nodes, and you just move at 20%. It just feels bad. If every class at a baseline could reach that 60 to 80% mark, and then maybe at the top end with very high investment can reach 120% MS, I really feel like a small change like that would make the game way more fun and enjoyable to play, especially because we're in giant, huge maps. If we're going to be playing,
I agree. We need a little bit more of movement speed. Not zoom, but hey, we are too slow and we need the movement speed for a lot of mechanics. Don't delete rarity, bro. Yes, ADL, fuck rarity, dude. The thing is that we are maybe they have shifted our brains to like rarity because we need rarity to actually see some drops. But if you increase the base drop rate, then you don't need rarity and you can slash it from the game. It is not fun to itemize for rarity, dude. I want to itemize for damage or for defenses, not for fucking rarity. I got 1 divine. Hey, 1 divine is not much, but at least you got 1. I didn't get even 1, dude. Get rid of temporal change. Temporal change suck dick. I agree completely, Demiurge. And you know what? Like, the maps that I get, like the mods in the maps that I get, that I want to put into the Waystone, and I am going to put it into the node, that shit always have temporal change. So I am by default, when I enter the map, 25% slower. What the fuck, dude? Yes, but don't use the temporal change maps. Yes, I know, but this shit is so common that like 7 out of 10 maps have temporal change. I have to use the maps. I don't have infinite Waystones, dude.
In these giant, huge maps, we should have a little bit more base movement speed. Running at a massive map with 20% MS, and you have to walk for like miles, it's just not very fun. Last minor thing to complain about is downside on shrines. I don't really see why we need a downside on clicking a shrine. If you're not paying attention, you click a greed shrine and you just break all your loot for the next minute until you notice and click it off. Solution, just remove corruption shrine and change greed shrine to where you get 100% cold quant instead of converting all your drops.
All of this is good feedback, by the way. No reasons to quit the minor changes, the big changes. Yes, if you don't feel the game is rewarding, you feel like you are wasting your time, not having fun, you quit. I get it totally. But he himself said that these are minor complaints. This is not a big deal, but it will be nice to get it improved. I agree completely with every single one of these points, by the way, these minor points. Not a reason to quit the game, but they suck, and it will be awesome if they can improve this shit.
I just don't see why shrines seem the downside in this game. It really makes no sense when you click on it and you just get a complete negative downside. So yeah, Please change this. But anyway, that's my entire feedback video for 0.2. Unfortunately, I feel like I am probably just going to stop here. Once again, I'm usually the type of player who can play for 12 to 14 hours every single day for like a month plus, 6-8 weeks, but I just can't at 0.2. It's just not a fun and enjoyable experience. You know, I really want to enjoy the game, but I just can't right now. I do hope that 0.3 will fix the majority of these issues. I do believe in GG will make a really good ARPG eventually. But
hey, base. I also think this will happen. They are going to improve. They are going to take the feedback. They are going to do the changes. I trust the vision, dude. I trust the vision.
currently, PoE 2 is just not it, and yeah, I'm just not having fun. That's pretty much a TLDR. If you're not having fun, why play? So maybe I'll try out Last Epoch or something,
Exactly.
but yeah, that's about it.
Hey, dude, that was an awesome video. Thank you, Fobgon. You gave a lot of good feedback in there. That was fucking great, dude. What do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I a clown? Am I a genius? Let me know everything in the comments below. I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. Also, remember to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. Guys, thanks for being here. You guys are fucking awesome. God bless ya. And remember, don't be afraid ever, because this is just a ride.